Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron. Welcome back to my holiday 2019 box office predictions, and this is it. We're in the final stretch. Christmas is literally right around the corner. We got three movies coming out on Christmas Day. Then after that, that's it for 2019. There are going to be no more new movies to talk about until January 3rd when the Grudge remake comes out, which just makes me so ecstatic. If you could tell. And speaking of remakes, today we're talking about Little Women 2019 because again, this is what Hollywood thinks we want. They think we want more remakes. Now, personally, when it comes to remakes, like if it's good, I'll accept it, and if it's bad, I'm calling it out on it. That's just me. But honestly, like my biggest issue with remakes is that there's just too many of them. Like instead of having like new original concepts on a regular basis, Hollywood and the studios see it as easier to reboot, revamp, rehash the same old properties because it's safer and it might make more money because of brand name recognition. But in reality, it just makes you look creatively bankrupt. That's not me being mean, that's me spitting facts. But enough about complaining about remakes. We gotta talk about Little Women. So we're gonna go over the pros and cons of Little Women 2019. So let's get to it. Pros, the reviews. Last I checked, this movie was at a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now I know Rotten Tomatoes is not the greatest. I mean, look at the audience score for Rise of Skywalker. Like, despite the fact it's been like what a few days, like it went from like 2,000 to like 40,000 audience reviews, and the score is still the same. Like, isn't that a little weird? I think it's weird. I think there may be some foul play over there, but ignoring that. A 94 is still good for this movie because you know this movie wants some Oscars and wants some awards. And unlike many Oscar baity movies this year, I think this one will find an audience for reasons I'll explain a little later on. But yeah, the reviews are definitely going to help Little Women. Pro number two, has no real direct competition. I mean, what's this movie got to face? Cats? Nobody saw Cats. Okay, I saw it, and it was every bit of a disaster piece I thought it was going to be. And believe it or not, I actually saw the movie before it got the visual effects update. So what that means is that I'm one of the few people on planet Earth that saw Cats in its original format, and I am quite proud of that. But still, the movie made no money. It's a non-factor at this point. And Star Wars, like comparing Little Women to Star Wars is just laughable. Like the audiences couldn't be any more different. So like why even compare it? And then you got Frozen 2 and Jumanji 2. I don't think Jumanji 2 is going to be an issue. Frozen 2 might be a little bit of an issue because, both are female centric. But Frozen 2 is aimed more towards the overall family audience, while Little Women's a bit more towards like that younger teen audience. So, yeah, Little Women has no real direct competition to deal with. So, that will definitely help. Another pro is the cast here. We got Sushi Ronan. I'll never say her name right. I even saw a video of the actress saying her name, and I still couldn't pronounce it. Like, gosh. But anywho, yeah, 2 years ago she was in Lady Bird, a movie that got a lot of awards attention, got a lot of buzz. I don't think it won anything, but still got a lot of buzz at the end of the day. And funny enough, the director of that movie, Greta Gerwig, is also directing Little Women, so that's a fun fact for you. And yeah, she was in Brooklyn, Grand Budapest Hotel, The Lovely Bones. Some people actually like that movie. I don't know why. The Hannah and the host, the Steph. Oh my god, the Stephanie Meyer host, the author from Twilight. That host. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I mean, that movie was just awful. Thank God she recovered because most people wouldn't recover from something like that. But yeah, she has a decent amount of awards. Well, I wouldn't. Well, not quite awards prestige, but she's known for being nominated for awards, so that's definitely good. For the movie, you want to have some awards people in your cast. So that's our main actress. Then you got Emma Watson. She's Hermione from Harry Potter. She's Belle from 2017's Beauty and the Beast. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but you can't dispute the fact that it made $1.2 billion. That's just the truth. So I think her presence will help. Timothy Chalamet, like 2 years ago, literally the same time as Lady Bird, a movie called Call Me By Your Name came out. While it didn't make a whole lot of money, I remember social media going wild over it. Like, it was kind of insane. So, yeah, that'll definitely help. And wait a minute, he was also in Lady Bird. Wow, that's a crazy coincidence. And he's gonna be like the Dune remake next year, but I don't think that movie's gonna do well at all. It's just not. And when I eventually get to that next year, I'll explain why. But yeah, I don't think that movie's gonna do well. But still, his presence will help this movie at least. And then we got Meryl Streep here. She doesn't. I don't think she plays a huge role in this, but she can definitely help. I mean, she's one of the most prestigious actresses in Hollywood. I mean, she's won so many awards and got nominated for so many awards. Like, it's crazy. And she's also a decent box office draw. So, yeah. You got the cast, in terms of like awards prestige and like box office. It's not bad. Not bad at all. And another pro is I think this movie will, like, the audience is going for is more towards that Twilight, that Fault in Our Stars esque audience of like young teen girls. And I think this movie could appeal very much to them. I mean, although I thought they would go for Last Christmas, that didn't happen. But I think they might go. They might watch this because the cast and just how it is, and yeah, I think this could do quite well if all things go well, of course. So yeah, cons. I did some research about this movie because I'm like, I know this movie. This is not the first time they've done Little Women. They've done it several times, but I did not know that this is the eighth. Yes, the eighth adaptation of Little Women. Like, Elizabeth Banks complained about Spider-Man having so many reboots, even though he's had like what, 3 adaptations. This has 8. So Elizabeth Banks, why aren't you complaining about this? Like, come on. So yeah, again, when it comes to remakes, a lot of people are just like, do we really need this? Like, do we really need another Little Women in 2019? Because a lot of remakes, especially recently, have done quite terrible. I mean, you got Charlie's Angels, Black Christmas. Both bombed horribly. And I don't think it'll do that bad, but that's also something you should really worry about because those movies were also female-centric and both did quite terrible. And again, it won't do nearly as bad as those, but still something to think about. What else? Oh, another con is that although a lot of these actors and actresses, they're well known on social media, that doesn't mean they're huge box office draws. I mean, Saoirse Ronan, sure, she had Lady Bird, but other than that, she doesn't have like a huge hit, that she headlined, because Lady Bird only did pretty modestly, and as did Brooklyn. And then Emma Watson, I mean, sure, she had Beauty and the Beast, sure, she had Harry Potter, but at the same time, when she's not in like a famous brand or like a famous IP, she had, what was it? The Circle. Yeah, The Circle. Despite having her, Tom Hanks, and John Boyega, that movie did awful. Just truly horrific. And it came literally a month after Beauty and the Beast. So, yeah. That could be a problem. But the good thing is Little Women is a well-known IP. It's not in a original concept, or at least to most mainstream audiences, it's not an original concept. Because I know The Circle is based off a book that I never heard about. So, yeah, at least more people know about Little Women than The Circle. And yeah, like Timothy Chalamet. I mean, sure, Call Me by Your Name got a lot of social media attention, but sometimes social media attention does not equal box office dollars. It just doesn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Right? It's very inconsistent. So yeah, the cast isn't incredibly reliable, as box office draws. So that could hurt a tiny bit. But I feel like it's gonna be like a Knives Out situation, where like if you look at all the actors in there, you look at like ignoring like Daniel Craig being James Bond, or Chris Evans being Human Torch and Captain America, and Jamie Lee Curtis ignoring her from Halloween. If you look at their other movies, it's quite bad. But like if you group them all together, it's very strong. And I feel like the same thing will happen here. You group all these actors and actresses together, and it'll be a lot more appealing than seeing them all, in all solo, right? So yeah, overall, box office wise, opening weekend, this is hard to predict because Christmas is notoriously wonky. Crazy things could happen. Like this movie could do amazing, or it could do just plain terrible. I don't know, but I'm gonna try to predict it. So opening weekend, I think it'll be around 20 to 25. And for its 5-day weekend, because it opens on a Wednesday, that's when that's Christmas Day. It'll probably make around 40-ish million for the 5-day, I think. Well, some might say I'm being a little too optimistic, but you know what? If that's not the case, you know what? I'll be a bit easier. 35 to 40 is a decent range, I think, for this movie for the 5-day weekend. And like for the 3-day, it'll be like 20 to 25. So I think that's reasonable. So yeah, that's Little Women 2019. So next up, we gotta do Spies in Disguise, and then Uncut Gems, and then that's it for 2019, and no more movies to talk about. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. You want to check out some of my other predictions. I have like a holiday 2019 predictions on the homepage. Go check those out. And yeah, that's it. That's all. And I am out.